Hello everyone, and welcome once again to the Heir's Lair. I'm your host, Jonathan Taylor, and welcome back to Demon Storm Remix, a video miniseries where I present to you my concept for a potential rewrite of the Demon Storm series originally written by Valerie Storm. This is not me, this is not me trying to bash her work in any way. This is me, if anything, doing like fanfic of her work. And right now we are past the halfway point, both of the series itself, of the mini series and of the book series. Given that we're about to start talking about book 5 of 8. And in the at the end of book 4, most of the leads and side characters were huddled up in Raziak, getting it ready for a potential getting it ready for a potential attack by the Council of Balance. With Kari herself being in a dungeon, or waking up in a dungeon, being loomed over by Kiniko. Book 5 would open up with Kiniko explaining herself to Kari, saying that she has joined the Council of Balance because she recognizes Raven to be the biggest threat right now, and she very much wants the support of the Council in order to take her down, or potentially out entirely. And even though she built the room, she is still not capable of reading it because she is offering Kari the option to join the council. Kari, however, if you'll recall, already has some level of experience with the council and knows that she will be targeted. So therefore refuses to get herself involved with any of that, and instead tries to bring Kiniko out of the council, tries to talk her out of it. Kiniko is having none of that, however, and instead walks away from her, but doesn't leave her alone. Rather, she leaves her with Valeris, who in this rewrite, rather than being a bat demon with mind powers, he is a human, more precisely a council member who has a lot of weird abilities, including over the mind. And he is tasked with breaking Kari into compliance. Obviously, she resists that initiative, and as she resists that initiative, she finds a potentially unlikely ally in the Catalyst, the entity that she is hosting, and a former general of the the God of Decay, as I've already mentioned in the backstory video. Now, remember how in that very same backstory video I compared the Demon Storm books to Naruto? Well, this is the part where that comparison becomes the most blatant, because this is the part where Kari challenges her inner beast, so to speak, befriending it, and persuades it to fight not for her, but beside her. And their combined efforts are capable of not only breaking them out of the cage they were placed in, but they also manage to defeat Valeris, both in the battlefield of the mind and in physical combat. She then leaves the castle, only to find that Ari and Ginny are arriving at the castle. Ari and Ginny will have also spent the first part of this book dealing with their own story snippet, fighting off an attack by the council, and also having Xena arrive in Raziak to provide them with assistance. Before these two parties and this lead trio can actually compare notes with regards to what happened, they find themselves attacked by Xena's sisters. And even though the three of them are individually a match for the sisters, or it could be said that they are at that level, the way the sisters work together still ends up overwhelming them, which prompts the lead trio to retreat and regroup. As they do so, they talk about they talk about what happened, and talk about what happened, how they how that positions them with how that positions them within the broader power dynamics of the world, and also they discuss how to more effectively counter the sisters, given that they have to given that they are quite certain the sisters will go after them again. They find something and are quite a bit more successful in the in battling the sisters on the second attempt. They are more capable of countering the offenses and defenses that the sisters either throw out or put up. They are at least successful enough to where they are to where they are capable of to where Kari is capable of breaking through to them and mentioning that Kiniko joined the council. And that little reveal creates a rift between sisters, a rift that the leads, importantly, do not push, because because their intention isn't necessarily to defeat the sisters, it's to have them join their side, become their allies, so to speak. One character who doesn't have such qualms and who instead interferes within this moment right here is Raven, who uses this moment of confusion, reflection, what have you, to attack and kill all the sisters in the order from most to least vicious. And that moment actually gets through to Guinea, of all people, of just how dangerous Raven actually is. And when she slinks away, he decides that she should be the one who they go after next, because if the council gets their hands on her and manages to take her abilities, then it's game over. Like, it's game over for everyone. So anyway, moving on to book 6, where the lead trio return to Raziak, and they find themselves joining a large group of potentially several dozen refugees, most of which will be demons. I'm not sure if it'll be a simple majority or an overwhelming majority. I lean more towards overwhelming, to be honest. And this particular group of refugees is led by a white fox demon called Fiera, someone who distinguishes herself both in terms of how she deals with the members of her community, but also with regards to how she presents herself as a representative of that community. And it is that diplomatic touch, so to speak, that more technocratic approach, I think it would be fair to say, that actually manages to persuade the denizens of Raziak into accepting her community within their own. And as that happens, the lead trio gather up their most their most powerful, or their most significant for this case, side characters, which would be Aurora, Xena, Rudolph, the town's the town's preacher and librarian, as well as Rufus, who is its who's the commander of the town's garrison, as they try to figure out how to most effectively counter Raven, or fight her more broadly. So they discuss what exactly they're going up against, what the most effective ways to counter that would be, what exactly they would need, and they formulate a plan that requires they visit Guinea's castle, because every sufficiently advanced magic user within this setting has their own castle. Don't ask why. Anyway, so they make the preparations for this for this little incursion. Go through Raziak one more time to make sure that everything is settled before they leave away, before they go away. and then they decide that Aurora and Rufus should stay behind in Raziak, just in case the council decides to attack again. Just in case the council decides to attack again. After which leaves the group of Kari, Ginny, Ari, Xena, and Rudolph to go to Ginny's castle. The way there, however, even if they portal directly there, which which they do, is still fraught with a whole bunch of dangers and traps, because that's how Ginny set it up in order to protect his stuff. So so a lot of this book will basically be these 5 characters navigating the navigating the resulting obstacle course. They manage to overcome it, arrive at Ginny's castle, have a moment of R&R as they as they gather their strengths and collect the artifacts they will need. Then after which they open up a portal that leads not straight into Raven's castle, but rather at it somewhere around its outskirts. And as they walk out of that portal, one of Raven's shadows intercepts them. However, that is exactly what Xena and Rudolph counted on, and they are capable of using this intercepting shadow to open a portal that leads them into the realm of shadows. One that is technically presided over by Asuri, the god of shadows. However, because Raven is currently his host, she is the one who actually pulls the strings there. So they go in, they explore, they encounter shadow selves that they have to fight, with Kari herself distinguishing herself as the chief of this little war party over the course of this battle. After which they continue their exploration, finding various finding a lot of these souls that Raven will have collected through her shadows, giving them their respective moments of closure. Among those souls are Xena's sisters, and for them, closure means that they join this little war party so they can defeat Raven, and which is exactly what this war party goes on to do. It would be very tempting to say that either Kari or Xena should be the ones to deliver the killing blow to Raven. Kari because she's the main character, and Xena because she has an established rivalry with Raven. However, I actually think it should be Ari who delivers the killing blow to her. And the primary reason for that, I imagine, I would say, is because they actually have more. They actually have a stronger claim on a rivalry. They have a stronger claim on Raven being Ari's enemy as opposed to Kari's. Given that Raven will have been established as being the one who caused the death of Kari's father, and a whole bunch of other similar topics. A lot of things that made him become a little bit more callous, a little bit more ruthless. After Raven is defeated, Asuri shows up in front of this war party. Not because he wants to take revenge on for his former host, but rather because he is now looking for a new host. And while I imagine that the choice of him to forego a host is something that could be discussed, I think the most likely and the option that would be most interesting moving forward would be to have Ginny become his host. And in order for them to gain a leg up in their future battles against the Council of Balance. But more on that a little bit later. For now, I would like to say that was it. That was how I think books 5 and 6 of the Demon Storm series, Storm's Convergence and The Storm Breaks, ought to be rewritten. And I hope you agree with that. Sentiment. If you do, or if you otherwise just enjoyed the video, well then please like the video, maybe even share it wherever you think other people will also like the video. If there is anything you'd like to add, either to my rewriting pitch or to the the books that inspired it, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. Ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. My books, the first of my own Heir to the Empire series, The Next Generation and Path Not Taken, are available at various book retailers under their respective master links in the description down below, right past my social media links, which I also suggest you check out should you choose to. And given I have a third book coming soon, now might be as good a time as any to choose to follow me, because who knows, I might just have updates on it. I also have a second channel where you can see me talk about whatever else crosses my mind, though it'll typically still be about narrative analyses, but of works outside the print medium. So if that's something that is of interest to you, then go ahead and then I suggest you go ahead and check it out. If, however, you want to hear more about my thoughts on the print medium and selected works therein, well, then I suggest you stay on this channel and go through my extensive backlog, covering not just book rewrites, but primarily book reviews, writing advice videos, and videos on miscellaneous connected topics. If that doesn't interest you either, then I suggest you go ahead and do whatever you want the rest of your day, because it is your day after all. And yeah, that was it for me. So until next time, I am Jonathan Taylor, and this has been the Heir's Lair.